I went from $50 to 10K in 4 months with high ticket sales. If I could go back and tell my past self how to do it faster, this is the advice I would give them. The first thing, detach yourself from the outcome. So obviously having $50 to my name, I really wanted to make money. And so that was my goal, that was my burning desire to make as much money as possible. Now this was affecting my sales calls because when I was jumping on these calls and I was speaking to these prospects, when it got to the end of the sale and I was like, ooh, this is where I'm gonna make my money, there's this thing called commission breath, right? Commission breath comes out. And that put a massive wall up between my prospect and myself because they could feel it. They could sense it. And it wasn't until I started thinking, okay, I'm just going to be here to help my prospect and I'm going to forget about the money, that I started actually to make a lot more money because I started to have a lot more authentic conversations. I started actually wanting to help my prospect and they could feel that, and therefore buying became an obvious decision. When you and your prospect are speaking, they can feel your energy, whether it's making money, whether it's to help them. So it's incredibly important to be on a sales call with the right intentions. And so I changed my intentions from being there for the money to being there to help people, and I started to make way more money as a result. The second thing I would tell my past self is forget the script. Focus on authenticity. A script is only going to hold you back. I used the script because it felt safe, it felt comfortable, it felt nice knowing that I could have these questions on my screen if I ever needed them, and I could, go through this whole thing because I know the script works, right? Or at least I think it works. So that thinking was the reason why I had the script. But thankfully, I got rid of it. And the reason I got rid of it is because I was noticing I was sometimes asking questions that were repetitive. And I was basically getting them to repeat themselves. And that was telling myself, I was like, okay, I'm clearly not present. I'm going to work on that. And then I got rid of the script. And at first it was a bit uncomfortable because I was so used to having it there. But then I actually started closing more deals because I was having authentic conversations. Authenticity is so important in sales. It builds a lot of trust. And so being able to go from, conversations where I wasn't really listening properly and I wasn't really present to being there to help them and fully being on the same page as them made a massive difference. And it's important to remember your job in sales is to lead them, it's to guide them. You're not trying to convince them. And that's all a script is going to do. It's going to put you in a cage and it's going to make you convince them. And that's not how you sell. You sell by leading, guiding, by showing them the better way and letting them decide what is better for themselves. But through being present, you're able to present that case very clearly and they will 9 times out of 10 agree with you. Then, the next thing, raise your financial standards. So I used to think 2K was a lot of money. And that is a big problem that I see a lot of people have. If you think 2K is a lot of money, you're going to struggle to attract more in your life. Think about it. If you think 2K is a lot, how big is 10K? How big is 100K? How big is a million? Seems so out of reach. If it seems out of reach, you're not going to get it. So I started surrounding myself with people who made a lot of money, whether they were closers or business owners, 10, 20K, making that kind of money, like 2K, like it was nothing. And that helped me raise my standards. And not only that, it made it much more natural to make that kind of money. And I started not looking at 2K as a lot of money, and I started to make more. Your brain is going to limit your income. If you think 2K is attainable with ease, your brain will look for ways that it's attainable with ease. It's weird how your brain works. You kind of have to make sure it's wired in the right way. So I would say to my past self, raise your financial standards. You deserve more. More is easy. It's a tool. Money is a tool. You don't make money, you collect money. That's a big thing for me now that I apply in my life. The next thing, stack cash for the love of God. When I hit my first 10K month, I blew it all. Clothes, dinners, the club, drinks. Spent so much money. That caused me to have that next month. Ooh, I was stressing about money because I was like, well, I just spent it all. I need to make a lot more now. Don't get me wrong. It's good to spend money, and it's obviously good to, treat yourself, because it will motivate you as well, spending money on nice things. Like this nice apartment. Now I want nice things. Now I don't want to go down in standards, right? So spend money on nice things is crucial, but you need to do it in the right way. Don't do it when it's like all your money. Stack cash, right? Now I have 12 months of living. If anything goes wrong, I'm chilling, right? And it allows me to take risk. It allows me to live with freedom, with leverage. And that is amazing. So I would say to my past self, build those 12 months. Focus on building those 12 months. When you have those 12 months where you can live to a high standard for those 12 months and not make a cent, you're fine. Gives you so much freedom, gives you leverage, gives you availability to take risks. And that is amazing. And this goes back to the previous point where I said detach yourself from the outcome. Being stressed about making money means you're more attached to the outcome, which means you're going to make less money. And the sooner you get past that, the better. The next one, never leave your offer until you are making money on a new one. One of my first offers was for a dropshipping coach, helping people make money online with dropshipping. I was making okay money, I was, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I explored other options. And as a result, I got a new opportunity that came my way, right? They said to me, Nico, you're going to make consistent 10K months. We're going to fill your calendar. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Didn't turn out that way. And my dumbass left the dropshipping coach because I chose to believe that. And that was a huge mistake because it felt like I was starting from ground zero. I fell on my ass and I had to build my way back up. Thankfully, I had the skills and the network and the experience to be able to leverage. So I wasn't starting from zero again, so to speak. You never really start from zero. But it felt that way and it sucked. And it could have easily derailed me. I could have completely left this industry because of it. Thankfully, I didn't. But that's what I would say. Never leave an offer till you're making good money on a new one. You can easily balance two offers, no problem. Then the next one. Don't waste your time on offers that have you doing outbound, cold outbound, right? There are so many businesses out there that run ads, that get so much traffic with organic content on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. You do not need to be doing cold calling, cold DMing, okay? Don't. Even if you have zero experience in sales, in high ticket sales, you can still land positions for companies and influencers that do ads, that run organic content and get so much traffic. You do not need to do cold, outbound. I wish I told myself this way before because I wasted a lot of time cold calling. I remember a real estate marketing offer that I worked on. I did cold calls. That was tough, right? They're going to tell you there's this guy who makes a lot of money doing it. And you can do it too. Yeah, but you can also make a lot of money doing it in a much easier way. The same reason why I left my 9-to-5 is because I want to be valued and I want to make money that is attached to my skill rather than the time I put in. Cold calling is pain. It's not leveraged at all. Why speak to a complete stranger when you can speak to someone who knows what you're selling and actually wants what you're selling? Play the right game. right? Don't waste time, because time is your most valuable asset. And if I knew that sooner, I would have made a lot more money. Then the next one, surround yourself with winners. So when I started out, I was extremely lonely. I didn't know many people in this industry. All my friends in real life, and I have nothing against them, obviously, but they didn't see this eye to eye with me in terms of goals and ambition. And that's fine, like I said. But that's lonely. They make jokes like, why don't you get a real job? Why don't you, this isn't gonna work. That's a big one, right? And that energy is draining. I remember it was draining and it sucked. Humans as a whole, they wanna feel embraced. They want community. This goes back to like caveman times. Humans don't like to feel ostracized. They don't like to feel like they are the black sheep. And that's what it can feel like if you don't find your people. So surround yourself with winners, not just people. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Those 5 people, you need to be the worst. You need to be the slowest runner of your pack, because it's going to raise your standards to their level, raise your habits to their level, skills and results. Now, how do you do that when you are solo down? By being a nice person, genuine person, right? Bringing something to the table. Doesn't need to be finances, it doesn't need to be your skill yet, but bring something to the table. And you do that by being yourself. Back yourself, all right? You're capable. You can do it. I'm not special, my clients aren't special, you can do it. So that's what I would say. Surround yourself with winners, people that raise you up, people that want you to be doing better, right? Find that pack where you're the slowest runner or you're never gonna level up. Next thing, understand contracts before signing. Now this is key. I nearly made a massive mistake because I nearly signed a contract that would have slowed me down a lot. Now, contracts, you will work some offers, they won't actually have you sign any contracts. I've done that before, it's very interesting. I've also worked offers where there are contracts. Luckily for me, before I made this, nearly made a mistake where I signed a contract that would have screwed me. And it would have screwed me because of non-competes and all of these things that they took very, very seriously, because I spoke with previous employees and it's a pain in the ass and it's not something I want to get involved in. I luckily had someone who was a lawyer, went to law school, wasn't a lawyer yet. And I asked him, I sent him the contract and I was like, what does this mean if I sign it? Because I didn't really understand. They use these weird terminology, whatever. And I don't understand. So I send it to my friend. He says, do not sign this because it will screw you over. And I listen to him and I do not do it and I work somewhere else. Now, not everyone has access to that. Law school or friends who are lawyers, but we all have access to the internet. Use AI. I recommend ChatGPT. Give it a prompt saying, you are the best lawyer in the world. What does this contract mean for the recipient? And then copy paste the contract. You are the recipient. And then you'll know what it means. Ask it to put it in simple terms. Very straightforward, and it will help you so much from making a mistake. Next thing, always be a student. When I hit my first 10K month, I felt like I was the shit. I felt like I was on top of the world. I was the best. And soon after, it kind of like, I stayed around that level. I rarely went over it. I stayed around that level for a long time. And a big reason for that was because I thought I was the shit, and I stopped doing what actually got me from A to B, from 0 to 10K, right? I stopped doing the things like reviewing my calls, objection handling practice with my closer friends, role-playing, regularly practicing, doing all of these little things that helped me get better and improve my skill. Because in this industry, it's all about the skill. If you are good enough, you will make enough money. The money you're making is directly correlated to you as a person and your skill. And that's general life as well. If you're making good money, it's because you're skilled. But if you're not, you lack skills, and you got to build those skills, and you got to work on those skills and train those skills. And that is what life is all about. So always be learning from people who are ahead of you, and also don't feel like because what got you from A to B, don't feel like you need to switch it all up. That's a massive misconception. What got you from A to B can get you to B to C. Okay? So always be a student, always be learning, and really just believe in yourself to a high level, but move like you're an absolute beginner, is what I would say. Belief up here, take action like you know nothing. Like you're the dumbest person in the room. Ask questions. Want to do better and be better, always. Keep going is the next one, consistency. I nearly gave up a couple times when I started. I did, and thank God I didn't, because that would have sucked. I wouldn't be where I am right now. But it came a time I really needed to make money, obviously. The results weren't really coming in. Those first 30 days, first 45 days, I remember, I was like, what is going on? I was promised, I thought I was going to make so much more money. And I didn't. But I said to myself, I remember, I could choose to go back to my 9 to 5, or I can choose to stay strong and really see this through. Because hey, worst case scenario, I just go back to my 9 to 5 anyway. So that went on in my head, and I chose to stay, and thank God I did. Because it allowed me to see the results that I wanted to see. You only fail by giving up. That's the only reason you fail. So never give up. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Show up for yourself every single day, and you will see all the results that you want to see. But you have to keep going. Because like I said, you only fail if you stop. So never stop. Never quit. Go, go, go. Finally, jump and build on the way down. Right? Now what this means to my past self, I wasted so much time thinking about having the tools I needed, the time, the confidence, the money, etc. All of these things, these variables that I thought I needed to start. And it prevented me from starting, and I wasted so much time, it's ridiculous. But one day I said, fuck it, I'm going all in, and thank God I did, because I don't know what I would be doing otherwise. Jump and build on the way down. What that means is, jump off the cliff, build your way down. Trust yourself to figure it out. Because you will figure it out. Think of all the greats out there, whether they're athletes, people in business, whatever. They never had it all figured out, but you have to start, and you'll figure it out as you go, and that is amazing, because that's how you grow, that's how you develop, that's how you learn. Otherwise, you're not seeing any progress. You're wasting time, giving yourself excuses. Because I've said this in previous videos, you have to be the person. First. That's the first thing you do. It's not the last. So be the person that you need to be. Turn up for yourself. Think, what would my self do when I'm making 10 grand a month? Would they wait for all the right circumstances, or would they just get cracking? I think you know the answer to that question, right? So that's everything for today, all right? Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.